The nature of emotions. So this is the next chapter, our chapter 4 in the textbook, and what we're going to focus on is defining emotions, feeling emotions, and types of emotions. I thought this was fun. This was a movie that I think Disney put out on called Inside Out, and looking at different emotions, and I think it just is just a really good example about how much this actually controls our experience of the world. So we're going to start by defining what emotions are. The first thing to note is that emotions are reactive. So that means that they're triggered by perception. So something that's happening in the outside, or maybe even our own internal thoughts, could be causing us to have an experience. Maybe we're going to interpret things in a specific way, but perceptually we've experienced something that's causing us to be reactive. That is going to cause a physiological response. That could be things like an increased heart rate. It could be increase in blood pressure, adrenaline. There's going to be a physiological experience of whatever it is that's happening. Then there's the element of conscious labeling. So we're naming it something. We're naming it sadness. We're naming it anger. We're naming it joy. We're giving it a name and recognizing that we're having the emotion. It's constrained by norms. So there's going to be historical, cultural, or situational experiences that happen that maybe determines how we're going to experience an emotion. So I can tell you from when I worked in the call center, there were people that clearly felt that they had clearly had a good impact from being angry and yelling at people, because they'd call me on the phone and they would just be rude. And what I can tell you is from my own experience, I was very clear in giving people more when they were kind to me than when they were rude to me. I would give them the minimum of what I could give in those contexts, just because I wasn't going to reward that kind of behavior. But clearly, they had received something before the squeaky wheel gets greased, is sort of the philosophy. Not something I enjoy, so not something I encourage. Emotional management means that we are making a choice about how we are responding. Emotional sharing means that maybe we are discussing that experience with another person. An emotional contagion is when an emotion starts to spread across people. I don't know if you guys have, but I've been around people that are really excited and really happy, and it was hard for me not to go along with that and feel happy and excited with them. It's sort of the cha-cha, yay! And I like to feel happy, so I'm really more inclined to go along with that. I think there's also been situations, certainly when I was working, if I wasn't feeling particularly happy about where I was at that moment, when maybe I was feeling sad and maybe that might spread to somebody else, or vice versa. You'll see that happen a lot when people group together and go, oh yeah, this is situation so bad, I can't believe how bad this is. And then you get a lot of agreement from other people. So emotional contagion is one of those elements where an emotion can spread across a group of people. And I think it's important to distinguish the difference between feelings and moods, because a feeling can happen, it's going to be something that's going to happen in the moment, where moods are going to be happening more over a longer period of time perhaps, and they're low intensity states. Feelings might happen quickly, might show up right away, and both I think are influenced by perception, just how you think things are going or how you're feeling about the world. Those can certainly influence that. So types of emotions, again, these go back to that inside out. A lot of these primary ones were the ones that were listed on that movie. And if you look at the left side, those are primary emotions, and the ones on the right would be with intensity. So you might have surprise, but intensely you're amazed. You might have joy, but intensely you have ecstasy. So defining those emotions can be really valuable. And I think I don't know about other people, but for me, I don't know that I experience the high intensity emotions a lot. I might experience certainly the primary ones, but the high intensity ones are not really a place that I hang out a lot. And then the next piece that we look at are blended emotions. Now this one we might feel more than one emotion at a time. An example of this would be jealousy, and that's looking at anger, fear, and sadness that you might be experiencing all at the same time. So those would be an example of a blended emotion. All right, so that gives us just the definition of what emotions are. That looks at feelings and moods, and then just the types of emotions that a person can experience. Thanks.